thought China had its own mouthpieces to spread daily propaganda, but it looks like there's a new player in town to rival all of the megaphones. His name is Daniel Andrews. Beijing's puppet has released a statement on his national Chinese propaganda tour defending his decision to attend the Tiananmen Square Military Parade. And gee, this statement seemed like it was written with Xi Jinping peering over his shoulder. The former Victorian Premier says, quote, "I was invited to Beijing for the 80th anniversary of China's victory over Japan in World War II. Well, that was his first mistake. Because just because you were invited, it doesn't mean you RSVP yes, does it? Even Australia's ambassador to China had the sense to turn down the invite. He goes on to say, "I've said for years that a constructive relationship with China, our largest trading partner, is in Australia's national interest, and hundreds of thousands of Australian jobs depend on it. That hasn't changed." And that was his second mistake. Australia's national interest? Was it in our national interest, Dan, when China sent spy ships our way, conducted live fire drills off our coast, bullied us militarily and economically through tariffs? And he claims he was there in our national interest? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Dan left office in 2023, making him a private citizen. Therefore, he's not there to represent us. He's there to embarrass us on the world stage for his own selfish purposes. Oh, and on his decision to pose in a delightful photo with the axis of evil like Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un, the president of Iran and Xi Jinping, no mention of that, just, quote, "It was a chance to meet and engage with regional leaders like former New Zealand Prime Ministers John Key and Helen Clark, Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, and of course Chinese President Xi. We also shared in an official photograph." Well, look, he must think that we haven't seen the image. I mean, never mind the axis of evil. I met with John Key and Helen Clark, he says, so that's it. But you are right, Dan, you did share in an official photograph, so let's zoom in on it. There you were, a few paces behind North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, among others, responsible for human rights abuses and terror attacks on home soil. So what's his excuse, just to clear up any confusion? He says, "I have condemned Putin and his illegal war in Ukraine from day one. That's why he banned me from Russia last year." He goes on to say further, "My support for Israel and Australia's Jewish community has been outspoken and unwavering, and I unequivocally condemn Iran for its attacks on Australia, Israel and elsewhere around the world." So hang on, I condemn them, but I'll still pose with them in photos? Gee, good one, Dan. Keep telling yourself that. In fact, I think former Home Affairs boss Mike Pizzullo summed it up best on Sky News today.
All they could get from liberal democracies are Dan Andrews and John Key. I don't want to be disrespectful to the two gentlemen, but I suspect most of the spectators would have had bio notes and looking up who are these guys, don't know who they are. That's the best they could do.
It's not wrong. The best China could do was Dan Andrews. Gee, isn't that tragic?